Tonight, homeowners in Gulfport are finally getting some answers 4 months after the hurricanes. Many have been waiting for a permit to begin their repairs, but tonight, one homeowner is finally getting results after 8 on Your Side stepped in. News Channel 8's Linnie Supall joins us from Gulfport, and we're talking progress, but it's still not smooth sailing. A little holdup, right?
Oh yes, well, for homeowner Becky McCoy, she waited 4 long months for her application to reach its final stage of approval, and then we found out it was just sitting on a desk for the last 2 weeks and she was stuck in limbo because of it.
And they never went inside any of these homes.
As neighbors walk through their Gulfport community, the landscape looks very different.
The city of Gulfport is such a close-knit community, and it kind of feels like we're on an island now.
Homes destroyed by Helene and Milton's wrath on full display, and it's taking a toll.
My 2-year-old, who will tell any stranger she meets that her home is broken, that her grandma's home is broken, that my kids can't come home, and they don't really understand why.
It's been 4 months since the storms, and for many, the wait for a permit wears on.
There's no action. All I want is action, and I want to see my city look like the home that we've grown to love.
See the strips up here? They're popping up.
Becky McCoy's home also in disrepair.
They're starting to pop up because they're not meant to last forever, you know.
It's a temporary
It's
fix.
temporary, yes.
It's becoming permanent.
It's becoming permanent at the moment.
She says the thin blue tarp covering a gaping hole in her roof is wearing thin, along with her patience.
The worst thing we're waiting for is the roof, because that secures the whole structure.
So they waited 2 weeks, and now we're going to see some progress this week.
Absolutely.
Justin Shea is with the city of Gulfport. Tonight he's responding to McCoy's complaints about the holdup.
It passed through the initial review. It's on the building official's desk for quality control. Once all the documents are confirmed in that file, it'll be issued.
So about 30 minutes after we spoke to the city, Becky McCoy finally got a call that her permit is ready for pickup, which means she will finally be able to get her roof replaced. Stacy?
Well, that's great news, Linnie, but what about the other residents who are still waiting?
Well, I just want to show you, this is the application that they have to fill out. It is long and very complicated, and the city says that they are willing to help navigate the process. They're holding a meeting this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Stacy?
All right, Linnie Supall live in Gulfport. Thank you.
News Channel 8's Linnie Supall is live for us in Gulfport right now. And Linnie, I hate that these folks are still waiting. What is the latest?
Well, city officials still working to clear that backlog, and there's still hundreds of permit applications that are under review. And homeowner Karen Goldberg, she says she might have to move out of the city while she waits for her work to begin.
It makes me feel forgotten, and as if, it hasn't been a priority.
Karen Goldberg's Gulfport home is just a shell. Remnants from Helene's relentless floodwaters on full display. The drywall ripped out and stacks of flooring is a reminder of the work that's yet to begin.
It's been 5 months now, so we're like gypsies on the run. I mean, we can't live like this anymore.
Rentals are limited, and tonight she's running out of options.
This will be our 8th move in 5 months. 8 times.
Karen says recovering from the storms is impossible. Her contractor lined up and ready to get to work, but all projects still on hold.
On behalf of the community, make this a priority. The ones that are approved, if it's just a signature, please sign off on it.
They're still waiting for a permit.
They can come down here to permitting and we can check on their case.
Justin Shea is with the city of Gulfport and has said a permit backlog is holding up the process and staffing shortages are partially to blame. The 27-page application requires detailed information, but several residents say they've met all the requirements and still waiting to get the green light.
They can reach out to us and we can search their case and see what's essentially holding it up, and we could look into it for them.
Karen Goldberg breathing a sigh of relief tonight after we took her questions to city leaders. She finally has a permit in hand, and also more good news for hundreds of condo owners in the Town Shores complex. They'll also be getting their permits as well. Reporting live in Gulfport, Linnie Supall, 8 on Your Side.
News Channel 8's Linnie Supall sat down with Gulfport's newly elected mayor for some answers, and Linnie is joining us now with an update on what's taking place there. Linnie.
Well, demolished homes and leveled lots just like this have become a theme here in Gulfport, but also a symbol of frustration and fatigue. And tonight we found out that months of faulty assessments have been holding up the process. Neighborhood streets in Gulfport, once lined with homes, now rows of vacant lots. Homes deemed substantially damaged from the storms are being torn down. When you see your neighborhood, how does it make you feel?
Sick and sad, and
it's a huge impact.
It's a huge impact.
Becky McCoy and her husband Jim have lived in their Gulfport community for more than 20 years, but the last 6 months came with permit backlogs and delays. Major discrepancies in how their damage was assessed are to blame.
This second substantial damage letter we got put us over the 50%, which says tear your house down or elevate.
That letter stems from a mandate from FEMA, but the city of Gulfport says many of those letters were faulty.
We are not working with Tidal Basin any longer.
Gulfport Mayor Karen Love was recently elected 3 weeks ago, but working to clear up months of confusion about how the damage was initially assessed. The city worked with Tidal Basin, a company contracted by the state, but the mayor says there were issues.
Because their primary function in this was the substantial damage letters, okay? And we spent a tremendous amount of time having to redo letters that were very off base and incorrect.
Now the city is working directly with the State Department of Emergency Management, but the rebuilding process wears on. The challenges with Tidal Basin really set back the rebuilding process.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And so, you know, where the most pain comes in on that is that these folks have been out of their homes now for, 7 or 8 months.
And we reached out to Tidal Basin as well as the State Department of Emergency Management with questions about their inspection process, but tonight we're still waiting for answers. Reporting live in Gulfport, Linnie Supall, 8 on your side.
8 on your sides. Linnie Supall joins us. She's in Gulfport. And Linnie, I understand this person, though, still has more questions, right?
Yes, Jim Newman says he was able to get a permit for his rental properties within a few weeks, but just a few blocks away, blue tarp still stretched across the roof of his home, and he's wondering why this permit application is still stuck in the process. Jim Newman sifting through a thick packet of paperwork for a permit application.
This is their regular permit application that you go through.
He's become familiar with the process, successfully getting a permit to repair the roof of his rental properties just a few blocks away from his home.
The roofs are completed on our rental property, but our home that's in the flood zone, we cannot get a roof permit.
But the application to repair the gaping hole in his roof still under review nearly 4 months since the storms. Inspectors also reported damage inside his house was minimal, but the city updated its requirements, making the application even more complex. Newman says he was never notified.
We were not aware of the 1219 update that needed a floor plan and pictures of interior, exterior, every room. So that's a kind of a privacy thing, now that I guess our house is public record inside and out.
You didn't realize you needed to do that?
No, they did not email me or call me to tell me to update my package. I found out from a neighbor.
Tonight, his list of questions is growing, but while Newman waits for answers, his patience is wearing thin.
We can't just get our roof permit, at least in the city of Gulfport.
So many neighbors in this community think that they have been overlooked. So we asked the city for answers about how many permits have been issued to homeowners in a flood zone. And tonight we are still waiting for answers. Reporting live in Gulfport, Linnie Supall, 8 on your side.
News Channel 8's Linnie Supall joining us live in Gulfport. She has more on this story. It has to do with the permits and it's just bogged down. It's slow and it's so troublesome for these people trying to rebuild.
It really is, Keith. Hundreds of homeowners are in a bind tonight. They are still waiting for that initial inspection to even begin the permitting process. And residents who live in some of the hardest hit areas say that they've been overlooked and their location is the main reason why. This tarp draped across the roof of this Gulfport home hides the gaping hole Hurricane Milton left behind. 3 months later, all repairs still on hold.
First, we had to wait for this, wait for the SDE letter, wait for insurance, wait for the adjusters to come. We've gotten through all that, and we're still waiting for permits to be issued.
James Newman and his wife, Rebecca McCoy, voicing frustrations, growing weary of waiting for a permit to get their roof replaced.
We've done as much on our own as we possibly can. We just want to put it back together and move forward.
Their neighbors feeling neglected too. They say no one in their community has been given the green light to rebuild and believe it's because they live in a flood zone.
We want answers. We want permits. We want to be able to move forward and put our house back together.
The heaviest lift on permitting for homes inside floodplains at this moment is the level of detail that's required to document every dollar going into the home.
Justin Shea is with the city of Gulfport offering an explanation for the holdup, but unable to answer questions about this neighborhood's complaints.
How many permits have been issued to homes that are located in a flood zone?
I don't have that number.
Yeah, I used to be real proud about living in this city, and I'm starting to have second thoughts. I don't want to go through this ever again. I'm moving.
And tonight we have the list of documents needed to obtain a permit. It's a pretty thick packet and the details are lengthy, requiring photos inside every room, the exterior of the house, as well as the roof. Keith?
Well, as the city official said there, it's just so detailed. You got to fill out a lot of things. Although I am surprised they don't know how many permits have been issued. I mean, that seems like a question they should be able to answer. It would maybe bring some relief to those folks. But what's the city doing in the meantime to kind of speed up the process?
Well, the city says they have a pretty small staff and it's been very challenging to keep up, but they also said they're adding 2 people to the team this week with hopes of clearing that backlog. Keith?
Linnie Supall live in Gulfport. Thank you.